start this morning with some good news. We received another tax payment from the town of Troy for $138,000.
Good.
For the record, it's all my towns that paid, just saying,
And I just wanted to refresh you that,
just saying.
just wanted to refresh you, not only Troy, but Unity and Knox have paid.
Very good.
So and I'm gonna stay to my script this morning. So in hopes to receive more funds, I did send out reminder statements to all the towns that have not paid. Those went out a couple days ago. So my fingers are crossed that we're gonna get more money.
Carrie, when do the towns get charged tax, interest?
So the due date is October 1st.
Okay,
Then they have till November 30th to pay, with interest starting
Okay.
right after that.
so November 30th, okay.
And usually this is about the time of year, and I'm speaking on my municipal experience, that usually tax money starts coming in from municipalities. So
Right.
like I said,
I
I'm
know like Lincoln Bill, October 1st is the due date. So
fingers crossed that we start seeing money, because even though the good news is that we're receiving money, the bad news is our money is tight. And this week you will be signing warrants with $320,000 that was paid out in payroll, but a good portion of that was retro pay going back to January 1st. And I really didn't, with the money being tight, I did have to use 300,000 from the TAN to cover payroll expenses. So our remaining balance in the TAN fund is currently $691,246.
Sounds good.
Sure. We recently received from the county of Knox $154,000. And that was per the agreement for 911 services, correct?
Yes,
And I'd like to make a recommendation that we place $142,000 of that into future technology, the 0266 reserve account. It's my understanding that technology is using some of those funds to update the system up to the comp center.
Yeah.
But just so that we're not getting it lost in the shuffle of everything, I'd really like to reserve those funds.
We would count on that.
And I just want your permission or open.
I guess I'll make it a motion that we deposit or that Carrie allocate the $142,000 from Knox County into the technology reserve, because that's for our upgrades and stuff like that.
Future technology.
Future technology.
Yeah.
That's my motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Thank you.
And then just a few updates on my end that I wanted to give you. I have been working on various projects, talking to department heads, and in order to be a little bit more transparent through the warrants, I'm going to be creating a separate correction warrant to make for changes that need to be made into NDS. So there shouldn't be any checks that need to be written. It is strictly just for corrections, and I want to keep those separate from this for transparency. Annette, Susan, and I had NDS training, which was super helpful and enlightening. And it put more pieces of the program together for me. So I'm able to navigate a little bit more smoothly through the program and understand how some of those modules work better.
Carrie, are you still doing, or are you doing year-to-date on each department?
No, it's on my to-do list, and after today, they will be getting year-to-date statements sent out to the departments, knowing that
Going forward, like I'll come get one after the meeting. That is one thing that we always used to get, because Bill and Betty used to tease me. Cause I would highlight certain, you know, you kind of go through and you can see like at this point of the year, what month are we in? September? So we should be almost at 60% expended, I'm guessing. And that year to date is just really helpful. I know for myself, but I think all of us appreciated it.
And do you want that when I come to sit with you at the commissioners meetings?
Yeah,
Okay,
if you don't mind,
no, I do not. Do you want me to print one off when I leave and then just give it to you?
if you don't mind.
Yep.
Yeah. And it shows all the departments and the breakdown. As I say, we should be, I think, like 57, between 57 and 60, I would think, expended. Just
We
kind of,
haven't received from the state any notice on CCA money deposit in our account in September yet.
There was something that I received for $200,000.
no, Bill's taking that.
And I wanna say that I would want to look into it before I can confidently give you,
Before you can give it to him.
an answer.
Well, they pay in September or historically,
I will double check and hopefully have an answer to you
yeah.
later.
Has Mike's money from the feds ever come, should be 165,000 going into that unit, which we can never figure out, okay.
Not that I have seen yet. And I try to check the accounts daily.
Yeah.
To kind of see where we are. And then my last kind of update is Annette, Barb and I had a meeting regarding budget and kind of what my role would be this year or future. And we've determined that I'll be working with Barb to watch how the process goes and help her when I need to and enter in information with the ultimate goal to take lead next year.
You know, I'd like to make a comment on that. I was talking to Bob about this insurance has to increase to $1.2 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that you want it all under that, or you want part under the jail. And I said, well, we can decide that. I don't know, you're closer to that than I am, but I said, if we can put 100,000 under the jail, go ahead, but the final analysis, we need to add $200,000 this year.
Okay, but just so that I'm clear. Cause currently in our budget, the county ask of the budget committee is like 900 something.
Yeah,
The jail ask is also in the
Yeah.
jail's budget for health insurance.
Yeah.
So they're rather two separate things.
Yeah.
So at this point, what you're recommending, if I'm hearing you right, is you wanna up the health insurance line on the county side to 1.2 million?
1.2 million.
And is that number include the jails or not?
It includes the jail. So
Okay.
She said,
So you have
Can I-
to break that out.
she said, can I add 100,000 on the county side and 100,000 to the jail? And I said, you got room to on the jail. You can, but this final bill, 2 years from now, needs to be about $1.4 million.
Well, I mean, hasn't Ray Barr presented his budget to you or the sheriff?
They have, but they never put that piece in. Karen.
Why not? It's in their
Karen
budget. Who does?
Understood. Karen always did. So that's why we're trying to shuffle that, and figure out.
Aaron used to do it for.
Yes.
So I
There are a
mean,
few lines
so
like that.
historically, if memory serves me, I mean, and I could be wrong, stop me anytime, but generally, Barb sends out notice to the department heads and says, the budget is due, your budget's due, October. And this is the, COLA for the year. Get it into me by such and such a date, and then they would get them to you, and then you would give them to Karen, and Karen would enter those numbers in. So we're just gonna go back to that, I guess, is what she's saying. Cause historically, it was
And we're
finance.
trying to figure out in the meantime how that was done. So
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of
we're
learning.
working, Barb and I are working together to figure out the budget process. I'm working with her to see what's going on and where the numbers and how the process
Yeah.
works. With, I think, if I'm correct, that our ultimate goal is to then take lead on the parts that I need to take lead with
Yeah.
next year.
The reason for my question, Commissioner Paul, myself, I didn't know if there's room for the jail. Take $100,000 increase to. As long as they are.
Well, I haven't seen their budget for this year. Remember the jail can increase itself by between 3 and 4% per year according
Yeah,
to
we're
state
3.1%
statute.
this year, right?
Yeah, but is what their increase is?
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't seen their budget. Do we have their budgets?
Not yet, it's not finished because we're still trying to add those lines.
Oh,
They've
okay.
submitted their portions of it, but
Yeah,
Carrie and Annette too is helping.
But,
We're all working together trying to, workers' comp, FICA, all of that stuff. But
well,
they don't know
if
yet.
we can't increase.
so you both are okay for doing it that way,
Yeah, if,
okay,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
yeah,
It's a little clearer.
yeah, but this. Fund has to come out because it's been historically too low for years.
Well, yeah, I mean, we knew, I mean, at one point, we were not increasing the budget very much at all, if anything. It was gonna come back to bite us.
And at the same time, nationally, those figures are going up 7 or 8%.
Right.
I think currently the health insurance fund right today is like roughly 6, Carrie. The health insurance account is roughly around 6,
I think so.
so it's not,
We should be carrying in excess of $1 million in that account to be somewhat
To be sure, right?
where we should be.
Safe.
All right, that's all I had on that.
All right, and my final is the,
Let me first make a, motion to, report, finance report.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Thank you.
So that's just the report that you've given us on financials. Now you're gonna give us what it is.
okay,
You're gonna read them off to you, so to us, so you don't make any mistakes. Sign something for $500,000-600,000.
I'll do my best. So I will do the county accounts payable is $120,331.71. The payroll for the county this year was $186,211.60. For a grand total of $306,543.31.
Should I have a motion?
Second,
All in favor?
yep,
Sorry, who moved in a second that I was looking at figures.
I made the motion, you second.
Jail, accounts payable was $34,895.67. The payroll for jail was $156,055.97. Remind you that that also included retro pay. And that gives a grand total of $190,951.64.
Have a motion?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Did you say the jail budget's up this year? Bill?
3.1, I think, someone sent in some figures, attachment to an email, and I opened it up, now we show it as 3.1, so it's what Waldo County, I should say. Okay, you get that?
All set?
All
I'm all set. Do you have any questions?
No, I usually just hit you with a barrage of them afterwards.
Okay,
I appreciate it, Carrie.
you're welcome. Thank you,
you very much.
commissioners.
Good luck, thank
Thanks.
you. Mr. Jason,
Yes, sir. Morning.
Good morning.
How are we today?
good,
Good. So we've ordered the new phone system and the recorder for the comm center. The phones have arrived in Farmingdale with the vendor. I had our first meeting with them yesterday. I almost said tomorrow, but that's time travel and we can't do that. So had the first meeting with them yesterday to go over the setup and the timeline and things like that. I've got to get them a little bit more information to move forward, but we're moving forward with that. I had them, recorder is another vendor, but they were involved with it. We haven't heard back on when that's going to be in, but they're going to reach out to their supplier today to get the timeline on that, so we can all get everything lined up at the same time. So that's moving forward well.
How much for those?
The combined, the phone system was 73,000 and the recorder was 60,000, I believe. So I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but I can email you those exact numbers if you'd like.
does it seem, Jason, that the system is, at the present, is handling the load fairly adequately?
I think it does, as far as staff being able to answer the calls. I think that's more of a Mike question, I guess. I'm not sure. I've kind of checked in with them from time to time to see how things are going.
Yeah,
And I haven't seen people running around, panicking, but I guess I'll defer to him on that, just because I'm not down there all
sure,
the time.
sure,
But yeah, I would say it seems to be. I haven't heard many complaints from the Knox side of things. People locked out their account once or twice, so I've had to reset the password, but other than that, it's been, knock on wood, working as smoothly as
Yeah.
possible. I know they've reached out to Motorola to get a link between our two CAD systems up and running. They've got a quote on that, and I believe they've ordered that to pay for it. I don't know what the timeline on that is, but that's kind of up to them, Knox County, to get that up and running. If they want that to work, that's fine, and I'm open to it, but I feel like that's on their responsibility.
Absolutely.
So I'll work with them and do what we need to do, but I feel like that's their
yeah,
their project to head up at this point. So that's fine. So I think that's going as smoothly as it can. I've, been trying to keep up to date, reading a few news articles here and there about it, and I haven't really seen us thrown under the bus or anything else like that. I think the first week there was something out there about somebody was on one mountaintop and that somebody got dispatched to the wrong mountaintop or something like that sort of thing, but it's like,
I don't read the paper.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's why.
yeah, no, and it was like, we don't know those areas, and also Knox didn't know that they could log in and see where the call was coming from, I think, so I think we got that sorted out as well.
Yeah.
And it's, with a project like this, there's gonna be some growing pains, and that was, I think, the first or second day, so I think it's kind of,
we've been doing this for about a week or so.
a week and a half, I think, at this point.
Week and a half.
Weeks.
Yeah. And I'm gonna run some reports at the end of this week just to see how many calls we are taking for Knox.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. So we'll see. And yes,
I just have a question on here.
yep. You want me to come
Looks
up?
like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just staff people.
Yep.
That are participating, in the waiting room.
Yep.
So do you admit all those?
Yeah. I figure it's a public meeting, so
Right,
my theory is if they came in here in person, they could come in, so. Yep, so working on that, also, we've got one new sheriff's office employee that I'm finishing up a laptop and a phone for. I thought I had them all done, but then I realized I had missed one because he was working the night shift, and I kind of trains passing in different directions. I'm still working on, I've reached out to GWI as well as Consolidated, just because I wanted to get a couple of quotes on the phone service for the new phone system. I didn't just want to sign with Consolidated. I wanted to just kind of see who else was out there. So I'm waiting on getting one quote back just to see who's, I just don't want to sign a 3-year quote with the first company that sent us a quote.
Sure,
So doing that, working on Ray's review for 6 months. Hope to get that done. I hope to have it done by today, but other things came up, but I'll have that done by your next meeting and go over that with Ray and Annette to present to you. And that's pretty much it, other than putting fires out. Ray will, we did talk to Dale, yesterday, I think it was, about the new deed space, because sounds like they're moving pretty quickly on demolition of that. Sounds like we still don't have a time frame of when we'll be able to actually start renovating it. But he's gonna keep us in the loop so we can keep in mind getting wires and everything else like that in place when it's up to stud walls and things like that.
Permitting
So,
is really slow.
yeah,
I mean, that's the whole up.
yeah,
Here, there, and everywhere.
yeah, exactly. So we just wanted to make sure we're kind of kept in the loop. We don't wanna, you know, hey, we need to get this done because they're gonna put walls up tomorrow, sort of thing. So just trying to make sure everybody's in the loop, so.
All right, that sounds good.
So
Anything
some
else?
hurry up and wait sort of thing, but we're trying to keep everything moving, so.
When are the conventions, Motorola conventions coming up?
So we've got a Maine State user group on September 20th, down in Belfast at the Bayview Center, I think they're calling it. We've got that coming up, and then the day after that, it's not a Motorola thing, but it's kind of funny timing. The state is holding a training on I think it's a 988 number. 998. I don't know if it's the new mental health number. It's like the alternative to 911, I guess, and
I'm supposed to remember this?
I guess I just heard about it yesterday. So it's,
People still don't even get the 211.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. So anyway, that's not really Motorola related, but thankfully they didn't schedule that for the same day. So we were lucky about that. And then the next national Motorola one is going to be in April, and that's going to be it's going to be in May actually, and that's going to be in Texas this year. So we got some time before that. So, and we did have Motorola come up and do a mobile demo for us, and I'm waiting for a final quote on that, as well as a few
Does
of that.
Ray attend these functions ordinarily?
He'll come down to the one in September, and then I'll see if he's interested. We'll get him up to date and see if he wants to go to the one in Texas, maybe instead of me. And we can work on that with him.
Yeah, it would be great to give him exposure.
Yeah, yeah,
We could work that out.
yeah, yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, exactly. Or we can budget for one more person to go, or see how we want to handle that.
I
So
don't
yeah,
know if we could budget for two.
Yeah.
Especially not this year, but.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think-
but we can look
I
into
agree,
that.
That's a good idea.
I'm open to anything like that. So, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I had for you, unless you have any questions for me.
No, I don't. Thank you, Chase.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day, Jason.
Yeah, you as well.
Would somebody holler at that? Oh, that was quick.
That's right.
Just waiting for the.
My boss is waiting for me, so I had to jump.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. I do have a lot to cover, so I'm jumping right in. And I may be complimenting some of the talking points that the sheriff will be addressing as well. So just a heads up there. But it's all HR related, so I'm not stepping on that type of thing. So first and foremost, I wanted to talk to you about education reimbursement. We have Felicia Gray at the DA's office has signed up for a work-related professional ethics course through the community, UMA. And so I've submitted it to the Alphon grant, the community college. That's and the course total came to $894. So I asked for the 50%, which we'll go through that process. But my question for you is, I didn't see anywhere in our handbook that what we pay or reimburse employees for a work-related training for a college class. Now, like for this particular department, there's training now that is specific to the job of the state. It also has been submitted to the Alphon. So I just need your guidance on what we reimburse Felicia. Do we reimburse it just the 50% we're going to get from the Alphon grant? Or do we reimburse her for the full college course?
And who's this that's taking it?
It's Felicia Gray. She is the legal secretary at the DA's office.
Is this a required class to do her job?
not a required class, it is very beneficial for her to do
No,
it.
certainly.
Yes, but, no, it's not required.
If memory serves me, I thought we got into murky water there years back. I thought, remember Karen wanted to take a class. And it had to do with finance, so it would have been kind of relevant, but it wasn't necessarily, I'm a little concerned that we're stepping into some cloudy
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
I applaud. I applaud her. If I could put, if you don't mind, the sheriff or Matt on the hot seat there. I mean, I'm sure you have folks in your department that perhaps might take college classes on their own and advance themselves. I don't know, guys. I haven't, I'm worried that it's one thing for a department head to direct, this is my opinion, an employee to a certain training or class because it is majorly relevant to that position.
But not necessarily,
But,
not required.
but not required. I do remember it was muddy water and I don't think we paid when Karen did it.
No, but there's been some since then, and I think we'd have to do a little research. to
Oh,
figure that out.
Then,
I'm trying to remember, that's the thing, I think there were a few that either requested that, and there were some parameters around it that it would require a little research.
yeah,
Where does the money come from to pay that?
His training budget, because, for example, with the training that the victim witness advocates are at,
Well, it's
the
not,
the Alphon grant did pay, and we're in the process of paying us 50% of that. Other half is coming out of his training budget. For Felicia, they did write up a justification for how relevant it is because of the sensitive information that they have. It's a nice course for her to have for her job. She signed up for it specifically because it did relate to her job. And if by chance, she just needed one class left to get her degree. And she took this one purposely because it was relevant to work. So she couldn't have taken any other one, to finish her degree under the parameters, but this one because it was so relevant. So for me right now, I think because we are getting reimbursed through the Alphon grant for at least the 50%, I think we at least owe her that. Because we are getting paid for that.
so wait a minute. Just back up, if we were to receive reimbursement from this and you owe it to Felicia, is that assuming that she is paying for this class or is it coming from Eric's budget? Because I can't find it in his budget.
Right now, she's paid for the full course herself. So it would be reimbursing her, at least that 50% we're
I
getting.
mean, I make no mistake, I think it's an awesome idea, I
is, it really
truly do.
yeah.
But I mean, you heard Carrie's report this morning,
Yeah.
like, we're strapped, so I'm just curious and again, I don't see in Eric's budget where this is.
So he coded it to, he coded it to 5375.
How much has he spent? Oh, see, we don't have the year to date. We don't have the year to date.
So he had budgeted for the full training for the other two, which, then the Alphon grant came in. So he's saving money there because we're getting 50%, which we have received. Of that 50%, we received 80% of that. Once they take the class and fill out the survey, we get the additional 20%. But that's how he's coded it. So if anything, can I at least make a motion that if I can request a motion that we get reimbursed 50%, and when she registers for the class, we will get 80% of that 50. Then when she completes it, and I confirm that she did complete it, then the Alphon grant will reimburse us the additional 20% of the 50. So can you maybe make a motion that when the time is appropriate and we have the funds from the Alphon grant, that I can release at least that reimbursement piece to her that we get from the Alphon grant.
So
Well,
I
we
think
researched
as
the
long as
rest.
we're getting reimbursed, why not? But let's be very careful. Because it's pretty sticky, you might get your foot caught in a little bit of mud over here.
You say she's already paid itself,
Yes, she has.
$800.
$897, yes,
We got it, our exposure would be 400,
yes,
you know,
roughly, yeah.
I think,
And that 400 is. How much reimbursed?
We would get, from the Alphorn grant, we'd get reimbursed $448. About that. So I can definitely, the alternative would be is let me do some research with what Barb was referencing, what we've done in the past. And then I can follow up with you at the next, on the 21st, the next commissioners meeting.
That would be my hope, because again, I commend anyone advancing their education, I truly do. But I think that this is almost a creation, so what happens when Matt goes back to school for a master's? Or something like that, something that is relevant to his position and commendable for doing. But how do I pay for it? And I know you say it reimburses them, so, but what happens if he provides me with receipts that he's already prepaid for a portion of his education? Do I make up for that now? Do you know what I mean?
We could put parameters around the policy, complementing what the policies are around the Alphon grant. Because that grant the goal is for folks to accomplish a degree, advance in their job. And so we could come up with a policy around, as long as, because the Alphon grant is only going to be good for, I think, this year and 24, I think 25. So we could just put parameters during this period of time. Our policy is as long as we get reimbursement from, and it qualifies for the Alphon grant reimbursement, we will.
Is there anything in our contracts, our union contracts, that dictates a portion that we pay for furthering education?
No, and that's a good question. I did not go that route. I stuck to our handwork because it was relevant, but I will follow up on that. Good question.
I
You've
just
asked
think
me,
we're
they're up for.
at a time that, every dollar is critical.
Bill, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to say no, but I hate to say yes and get, when we should spend the money if we don't have to.
I see this as almost, I see it as a Pandora's box.
Are you thinking from the reimbursement piece from the Alphon or as a whole? Because if it's as a whole and you're saying no, unless it's job specific, like being like secretary, for example, then I will just pull the request back from the Alphon grant. Because I needed to submit it before the start of her class. To have it qualified, it can't be in retrospect, it has to be pro-free. I would advocate for as long as the Alphon grant called.
I would think we're required to pay them.
Yeah, because I think it's wrong if we're reimbursed, and then I get what Annette's saying, so if we're reimbursed, the portion of it that goes to Felicia. But then I think we're creating almost an accounting nightmare where, do you know what I mean? Again, that just doesn't seem clean to me, clean cut, like, if we're not paying for it, now we're accepting reimbursement for something we're not paying for and passing it along to somebody. It just, from an accounting or an auditing purpose, I don't think that flows.
So what I can do is reach out to the rep at the, Ed Wright is his name, and ask what the parameters are around that. If it is, I mean, this one is job specific.
Of a personal employee.
Yeah. If she takes a class to finish a degree, it is, we've deemed it to be, we feel is job relevant, that we don't typically pay for college classes. If we can still be like a clearinghouse, I guess that's all.
Yeah, that would be, I appreciate
Nick,
that.
could you tell us how much the employees' pay would change if she took this class and passed it and she had a college degree?
Nothing.
Zero?
Zero. The benefit here is just one, she gets a degree. It is job related. It would enhance and make her better qualified to do her job, be more informed, I should say, not better qualified, but more informed to do her job. As a reminder on, because this class is a professional ethics class, it would definitely talk about, and they did write up, because I asked them to do a justification on why they felt this course was related to her job.
Oh, yes, certainly. Oh.
But I do think this is a good one for that job. For her, because.
But I also think this is a good question to pose to the Alphon.
Yeah, I
because
will.
As I say, I can't, what if the sheriff came to us with another class that, was, I'd appreciate if you could look into the Alphon and find out how a private individual, like on their own, could seek reimbursement, or if it could go through us, like as a clearinghouse, but from an accounting auditing side, I think that gets cloudy. And I'd appreciate, Barb, if you could find any that we have fully submitted.
So we're gonna table. for-
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay,
So I'll move that we table.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Right, so now it's just good news. We have a new hire, Jacob Pierce. He's the blue pin, so he comes certified. And I need a motion to hire him, and his rate of pay is $34.14. His effective date is, this is in retrospect, but his hire date was effective August 21st. He started. He came in just at the end of our last commissioners meeting, and the timing of when he got done his other job to when you folks met again, it just needed to bring him in on quickly.
Motion,
So,
Second.
all in favor?
Okay, and he is going to, and I have copies for Barbara, but I will just, for the sake of this, so his hire date was August 21st. His rate of pay is $34.14 per hour. And the agreement was he would come in at a higher accrual rate for vacation times for an annual rate total of 160 hours. So we're looking at it. And then, and more good news, is that they are hiring, given a conditional offer, and has been accepted to a gentleman by the name of Bobby O'Leary of Liberty. And he will be a full-time patrol deputy, and he will start next week, September 11th. And his rate of pay will be $26.45, and he'll come in at the beginning vacation accrual of 80 hours a year. He does qualify for the sign-on bonuses, they both do.
They both qualify for the 7,500 sign-on bonus.
So for Jacob Pierce, he qualified for the $10,000 sign-on bonus, and because I think he was one that was already in the queue.
That's a one and a
Reference.
three, and three
Yeah,
and the
there's a
three.
couple other that was in the queue too, and the sheriff is here, we can elaborate on exactly who they were. Because they do have a couple other conditional offers out there. That,
Motion,
and
all in favor?
so Bobby Larry also qualifies for the 10,000 sign-on bonus.
I'm sorry, who made those motions? And Commissioner Fowler seconded. Thank you.
And when I spoke with Lieutenant late yesterday, he had 2 other conditional offers out there pending acceptance. They're not certified. And they are in the process because a couple of the detectives have resigned over this past couple months. They have done their recruitments, they've done interviews, and that is at that point where they are. There's been no conditional offers given that I know of for the detectives. They did post it internally. There was no interest internally to promote to that, so they posted it outside.
That get this pretty well up to speed on the sheriff's department?
Yes, with these 2 other conditionals for the non-certified deputies, that does, to my understanding, does put them at full complement for deputies. Now they're filling the detective positions that were vacated by.
Is Bobby O'Leary certified? Yes.
Green pen. He's a green pen.
He's a green pen, yeah, sorry.
It's a
He
great,
has not attended the full-time academy yet.
No, he's uncertified, he'll have to go to the academy. And then, and I'll get on to 2 resignations, which will complement, one of them is a detective, to complement why they're doing detective recruitments, but, so sticking to the positives, the, Erin Gary, she is a dispatcher, and she qualifies, she's now certified, she's gone through the academy to be a qualified certified dispatcher, and with that, her hourly rate of pay will change from 1908 to 2043, And she also is eligible for the second installment of the sign-on bonus of $4,000. And that was effective, July 31st.
Yeah, that's just a sum noted. one
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I said, so noted.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just because it's already in the plan.
Yeah.
All right, so then to complement this, Deputy Trevor McCray has also successfully completed his field training. And he now qualifies for the first installment of the sign-on bonus of $3,750. So I think that would be a so noted too, correct? That will also lead to John Shirk was this is a promotion, so this is great. So John Shirk was selected to fill a corporal position at the sheriff's office. His effective date was August 27th. And his new hourly rate, and I've checked this on the pay scale, it's $32.80. There's no retros going forward. I'm trying to double check everything when it comes down, now that I've got a good flow of what the process is. And so I just need you to make a motion that his hourly rate will be $32.80 based on the promotion.
Second,
Okay.
Okay, then, Deputy Brooke Hartshorn, who was hired, I think it's been like a month ago now. She was a blue pinner. She came on and she now qualifies. Has successfully passed our specific field training. Even though she came to us as a blue pinner, we still require certain trainings, and she's eligible for the $1,000 bonus.
We don't need to.
No, so,
Just note.
So then, we've had a change in jobs. Current employee Robert Walker has been assigned a new role as correctional officer effective 8/27. His new hourly rate will be $28 an hour. And I need a motion to accept that new job assignment and his new hourly rate.
so what is he?
He's going from detention manager to correctional officer.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I just needed, thank you.
All
And
in
I,
favor? Yeah.
oh, now to sad news. I have two resignations. I have, Ryan Jackson has resigned from the sheriff's office effective August 31st. And Ryan is, due his separation pay, vacation pay up, and sick pay up, ACA. And until payroll locks down and if any vacation or sick time has been taken, I don't know that as of yet. His rough payout will be roughly $80,589. I just want to let you know that. I'll give you hard figures when it comes, but if you want to just make note in the minutes that effective August 31st, Ryan Jackson has resigned.
So, I think you have to accept that.
And then I'll make that motion if they accept the resignation.
You made that motion, Evan?
Yeah.
Second, all in favor?
And I need a motion to accept Joshua Staples, who's currently a detective. His resignation is effective September 5th, and he is also due vacation payout, and that rough figure is going to be about $8,000. So I need a motion to accept the resignation.
Yeah.
Second,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Oh, and then one other is Matt Page. Bear with me, that's kind of caught up in something. I'm glad I can't write this all out. So Matt Page is up to the jail and he was due a salary adjustment effective February 27th, and it should have been $21.91. So I need a motion to accept his step increase to $21.91.
Motion. Second, all in favor?
And I will issue a retro back to that,
Thank you.
but he's a hard timer.
That do it?
That does. I do want to just mention that Betty and Commissioner Johnson and I have been working on job descriptions for the comm center. And I scheduled a meeting with the director of the comm center to review a couple of them. I do have a couple we're giving to all three now in draft form for you to review, and then we will vote on them next commissioners meeting to accept them as is. But I will give those draft copies to you in your mailbox.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The motion,
I'm sorry.
well, we given it. What's
Oh.
that?
Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. Sheriff. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh,
Good part of it was about you anyway.
I know, I don't feel like I have a lot now. I think you've heard everything. You wanna go first?
Sure. Nope, just to provide a little bit more, definition to Annette's report on that, the two deputies that we have conditional offers out there actually completing their last phase of the pre-employment stuff today. So I would expect, if everything goes well, and we expect to, by first of next week, that we'll have some dates for you folks to fill the patrol ranks on that. They did interviews yesterday for the open detectives positions, and they've come up with their top two candidates, and I expect those conditional offers to go out in the backgrounds to start before the end of the week. So we're moving pretty quickly. I just that will bring us full for everything, which it's been 8 months since that's been the case. So we're excited about that. Cody, Lieutenant Late's worked really hard on this, and I really want
Now,
to.
could you speak up just a little? I'm
Sure,
sorry.
that's fine. No, I said Lieutenant Late's worked really hard on this, on the recruitment piece, and I just want to really recognize him publicly. I also want to recognize the commissioner's willingness to work with the pay adjustments. It certainly made us competitive and allowed us to do what we needed to do to get business. We've got some time in front of us. We have a lot of newer folks that have to go through the academy, which is fine, and we'll work with them. We have one deputy there right now who's doing excellent. We're getting excellent reports about him there, so we're
How
really.
much does the academy cost now?
Is it 35? I think it's 3 or 35, and of course, then you gotta buy out all kinds of specialty.
When you say three, you mean 3,000 or
Yes.
3,500
Yes,
per?
tuition, yes.
Ah.
And of course, then you have to buy specific uniforms for that, and then you have to buy so you're into it for $4,000 or $5,000 per plus.
And we have
plus
how
their
many that are
salary.
gonna have to go through the academy?
I think we have one there, and I think 4 additional. Our plan is, we've talked about it, the academy kind of has a rolling enrollment thing, and everything's predicated on their data hire to full-time. They do limit departments on how many they can send, and being a department of our size, I wouldn't be interested in necessarily sending 4 people at once anyhow. So I think we're gonna be able to spread that cost out a little bit. What I'm really optimistic about with the dates of hire is that we can get 2 people into January, and then 2 people into the fall class next year.
Can we get reimbursement from a net on the academy?
I don't know the answer to that. I
We-
don't know if
I
we,
wish you'd ask.
I will.
You know what I mean?
No,
Just,
that's fine.
because I'm looking at your budget, wondering how you're gonna pay for it.
As a matter of fact, I think I specifically asked that question during my initial conversation, and I believe their answer to that was yes. I
Yeah,
believe they
I
did say.
asked you to get on the net about that, because I mean, literally, I'm looking at your budget going, you can't afford that.
Yeah.
You can't afford to send that many, which
Sure.
is stupid, but you know
Right.
what I mean?
No, and at the end of the day, it's, I hear what you're saying. We are getting some, I requested a reimbursement check for one of the deputies that resigned, and we received that from Waterville. I'm getting ready to prepare another letter to go out to try to get some more money, from Hampton. So at least we'll be getting in excess of what those costs are to send new people. And I recognize that does not go directly into our budget line. I get that.
I know.
I just, you know, as far as just consideration. But yeah, Cody's worked really well with HR, keeping her abreast as you heard, so. On the fleet side of things, I just wanted to let you know that the 2 out of the 3 final vehicles we've been waiting on have arrived down in Massachusetts. And we're just waiting on that third one, and then we'll coordinate an opportunity to go get those. Once we do that, I will certainly be in touch as far as requesting funds for
Does
expenditure.
that get us up to speed?
Yes, that'll get us all our vehicles that
Okay.
we're waiting on. So, you know, maybe by the end of this year, we'll actually
Have what you.
have what we need. Yeah, yes. So it's been a long road to hoe. I did, if you recall, a couple months ago, we talked about, because of this lag, we weren't able to trade at the time of things, and we talked about doing an auction. All right, I was able to, and Cody was able to work with one of our vendors, and they're gonna let us use their slot at the auction, just the open, you know, vehicle auction. So there's, and when those funds come, I'll just send them down, and, you know, for that reserve for the vehicles or whatever we want to do with it. So, but I'll let you know, that should be happening in the next couple of weeks. So. And that's all I have about the.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just had a couple things on the correction side. So I had sent an email earlier, Major Porter, has been working on an issue we've had with one of our inmates that we are holding at Two Bridges that's been running into some significant medical cost. I spoke with him just prior, Major Porter, just prior to coming down. They are transferring this morning, that individual to Maine State Prison, into their infirmary. So, and the Maine State Prison has agreed to hold him to meet his unique medical needs that we cannot have met at Two Bridges. And they are not seeking reimbursement for doing that. So we owe a little bit of a debt of gratitude to Matt Magnuson and the folks at the prison for
Good move, sir.
making that work. And I just want to say that publicly that Major Porter has put a tremendous amount of hours. I've seen the daily flurry of emails that he's been engaged with the DA's office, the defense bar, the hospitals, the prison, the other facilities, trying to facilitate getting something done for this individual. No doubt in my mind that without his work, this would not have happened. So
That's really good news.
it is. It took way too long, but he finally got us where we needed to be. So I think you guys all probably have seen the email by now about the state reimbursement that's coming through on, and I just again wanted to thank Ray for the work that he did with finance, the finance director here, and Scott Ferguson to make sure that our numbers got updated in CRAS and assured us that we got our allotment of that. One of the other things I wanted to ask, for about the last 5 years, the commissioners in the sheriff's office has utilized about $10,000 of our community corrections fund to match a grant that we have with Healthy Acadia to fund a full-time recovery coach. That opportunity is presenting itself again this year to continue with that grant opportunity. Basically, it's the grant through Healthy Acadia allows us to, with a $10,000 grant, to hire a 40-hour-a-week recovery coach to work outside of or work within the correctional facility. Like I said, it's something that we've done now. I think we're 5 years into doing this, and so I'd like to ask the commissioners if you would consider to use.
Are we paying it now ourselves in the grant that we originally got this over, right?
The grant actually was obtained by Healthy Acadia.
Right.
We use $10,000 in community corrections funds to match the grant.
Right.
That gets us the 40 hours a week.
That's-
So, and that's what we've been doing consistently now.
But basically, that grant is done.
Nope.
And now we need to move.
No, it's renewed every year. So we just have to make the decision every year that we wanna continue to participate.
You want a
in-
motion on that, Chair?
That's what I would like, yes.
I'll make that a motion. please.
Second,
Sure, yeah,
all in favor?
Alright. And the last thing I don't need anything on it today, but HR spoke briefly. In her report about our correctional detention manager. Being reassigned to correctional duties, which opens that position. I will be coming back at a future meeting, probably in the very near future. To talk with the commissioners about restructuring the command staff within the correctional facility. And doing away with the correctional manager position. I'll just tell you that my view of that command structure, it defies common sense to have a major in corrections and a captain overseeing corporals. It just, from command structure wise, it just does not make sense. And I also would like to create some consistency within the total organization. Basically, I have a patrol lieutenant and a correctional major that perform the exact same task, just in different divisions. So to have one named as a lieutenant and a major, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me either. I feel like we should have a rank structure that is the same in both facilities, even though they're doing the same work in two different facilities. It should be the same command structure. And the captain's position should be, in my view, eliminated and replaced with something that makes more sense. Probably the rank of like a sergeant, which would fit within that structure more appropriately. When I come back with that proposal, it should not affect budget at all. There should be no increase in the budget to make that happen. It'll just be more or less a title restructuring.
More workable.
But I'll bring back the details of that so that you can look at it ahead of time and make a decision about that.
Couple of questions for you this morning, Sheriff.
Sure.
On the 26th, could I hitch a ride with you?
Absolutely.
9 o'clock in your office?
I have, Mike wants to ride down as well, so he's gonna meet at the office at 8:30.
I'll
So
be
if we
there.
could leave about 1:15, I've been told by a few folks that have traveled that corridor that the traffic has been atrocious, so I want to try to give us a couple of more minutes to make sure we get there on time.
I'll be there, thank you.
You said you had a couple questions, is that it?
That's it, yeah,
That's it.
all free for all. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great day.
have you guys turned your budget in yet to Barb?
Yes,
What's the increase on it,
on which side?
on your whole budget overall?
Jail and the sheriff?
No, give me the jail separate from the sheriff, just roughly.
Maybe 14, 15, something like that.
On the sheriff's department?
I think on both, they're right around that. I don't know the percentage ref. I can go out and get it. Well,
I was just, cause I know she hasn't got to him yet, and I was just kind of going
Okay.
back and forth
Yep.
about, just
We're
curious.
gonna we're gonna have
Yeah.
hearings on
Yeah,
that.
okay,
shortly,
thank
but
you.
Yeah, sure thing.
Not gonna be good news.
No. So, well, that's what getting that grasp report and everything in certainly, and potentially help quite a bit on offsetting that. But, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna take a short break before, just for 5 minutes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Was Mike not here?
I'm gonna go check.
I'm just following you, Bill. Like I started.
Got it.
And he said. He'll be right on. He said.
He's
would
on
be
vacation technically, isn't he?
No, I don't think so. But
Carrie just brought this in to show you that this
he'll
was,
be right on.
This is what's come in so far from the community corrections, actually 207,000.
Yeah. So that's money they,
But it's 4 payments. It's 4 payments of 157,887.
He's not in the waiting room yet, right?
I don't understand. This is come in. This is not the regular money that we get, because it's for payments.
No,
We have public comments, no?
Anything? Public?
good day, Elaine.
Good,
Good to see you.
yes, been a while. And it's nice to be back. I did want to give you an update on the Waldo Broadband Corporation for the 5 towns. And what we've done is we have gone from having a broadband utility district, which was not financially feasible. It would have taken way too long for the funds to come through from the state and everywhere else. Basically, we just couldn't afford it. So what we've done is we have partnered with Direct Communications out of Unity. And they are going to build and own the lines and the whole business. I have been assured that it's still going to be an open concept where more than one business can go through those lines once they're run. So that's a good thing. I did bring some information if you guys wanted to look at it.
Yes, please.
I only made 1 copy of each, but you can keep those and make copies if you like. And basically, this is just a report from the directors and an update on the news. It was on I got it right off the
Oh, this
website.
is nice.
Yeah, we got it right off the website.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. And that kind of fills you in on all the.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of other stuff going on in town, I didn't get a chance to thoroughly study it the way I would have
Oh.
liked. That's why I brought that in.
Good.
So you
Yeah,
have it.
Good.
No, look forward to reading that. Thank you.
So hopefully, within the next few months, I'll have more information as to when the lines will be run and that sort of thing. But,
Well, it's good news.
Changing gears.
okay,
Have you found
You
anybody,
want these back?
have you found anybody that's excitedly said they want to be on the budget committee?
absolutely not.
Can't hurt but ask, you know?
And
I'm gonna read that.
yeah, you keep it. I did talk to the select board about the budget committee, and right now we're down to just 2 selectmen. So that's, putting a strain on them, and neither one of them were interested. We're having an election on the 19th. And the 2 candidates to fill that empty slot are Tyler Hididiak of Freedom and Laura Greeley of Freedom. So tonight, we're having a meet and greet with the candidates and, just be able to ask questions.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be not quite a debate. It's been people,
Wow.
small town, you get a lot of information.
yeah.
But I'm definitely going to that to see what's gonna happen there and to figure out what the candidates are.
Mhm.
And just as a quick update, the last time I saw Ron Price, he is dealing with some medical issues, but he's doing okay.
Good.
Him and Trudy and Trudy skunked me the last time we played cribbage.
Thank you.
God,
Thank
oh,
you.
good,
Yeah.
good.
But I just wanted to update you guys. I hadn't been here for a while, so I thought I'd.
I
swing
know,
by and
it's
say
nice
hi.
to see you. I think Barb got you a donut.
Just always.
See, she didn't forget.
Barb, you're a sweetheart.
And all these weeks that you haven't come, I've had to eat it.
My heart felt. I am so sorry.
Well, the question for the sheriff was, do I fire an individual, bust it down to patrol?
Mike is in the waiting room.
He busted it down to patrol after a stern lecture in finish over here.
Are you still recording or recording at all? Okay.
Mike Henderson,
I don't understand this at all, Commissioner.
and he's gonna be, on telephone.
One
Zoom,
thing I
right,
need,
on Zoom.
need to have, and I've, asked, Lori, Carrie, Carrie. And when she gets time, I need to have an amount that's in this account today.
And Mike is on.
Is he on?
Yeah. Zoom.
Okay, good morning, Mike. Can you hear me? Mike, are you out there?
He's not muted, so,
Is he up at the office? Could he come down?
He said he could not come down, but he would prefer to do it by Zoom.
right, it's on,
So, we've taken over 911 calls for Knox County.
Mike,
We
can
don't
you
even have our
unmute?
director here to explain how it's going?
Mike, you need to unmute.
Technology is wonderful, it works.
Yeah, it's showing him muted.
Right, it shows that he's muted.
And you can't unmute him.
Well, I tried to unmute, and the only thing it says here, unmute all people. And I'm not sure I want to unmute everybody.
Can I help him come to him?
But he should be able to.
You have something on, Mike?
Oh, I can try, I know you called, didn't Barb? Did you get him?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
He's on Zoom, but we can't hear.
Oh,
Thank you, Lou.
His phone is muted.
So Amy, when you in, on Monday,
I've sent him a
can
text
you
asking him. to
kind of
unmute.
look up with Carrie and see what the total amount is?
I'll give you a breakdown too. Yep.
I'd like to keep track of that. At present, I can't keep.
No, absolutely.
Dale is coming along, but he was
See,
ways to go.
Yeah.
What it will be really helpful to him, see, what was there?
Maybe he's gonna
Okay.
come back.
We're ahead of Boyd, we got the seeds in the ground. Dale took over about halfway through the process. So I wanna set it down with him. Like this winter and plan for next year. Here's the operation and how it will be.
Can you hear me now?
Something,
Yes.
Okay, I had to log out, log back in. It was just, I don't know why it wouldn't let me unmute it. I apologize.
okay,
Mike, could you first off give us an update how things are going on the new 111 911 situation?
Actually, it's going pretty good. We've had a couple of hiccups just with locations. Only because the 911 screen wasn't matching what they had down there, et cetera. But I think the anxiety in the dispatch room has calmed down quite a bit. Because it's not as bad as what everybody thought it was gonna be.
Go ahead, Mike, excuse me.
No, you're good. The process has been working very, very well. We're noticing that we take the call, we put it in. We're noticing that Knox County right away is dispatching it down and closing it out, meaning they're getting it. We're hearing on their radio that it's being paged right out. Like I said, we've had just a couple of hiccups with locations, just because we don't know the area. So we had one the other day where they had a 911 call for a panic attack that came in at one of the schools in South Thomaston. But the 911 call came from Rockland because it actually came from the RSU rather than coming from the school itself. And the principal had no idea what the address of his school was. So little hiccups like that where Knox County probably would have known that that's the RSU address, not the location address. But other than that, it seems to be going pretty well.
How's the time management thing with their employees? Does that seem to be pretty good, Mike?
It is. They seem to be picking up the shifts. We haven't had many gaps, and even if we've had a gap, it hasn't been that eventful that we've really needed to force anybody in. I'm trying not to force people if I don't have to. And I believe they understand that, and that they're just filling what needs to be filled.
Well, you have had an opportunity to observe. You feel we'll be pretty good shape for 6 months?
I do. And, we've got trainees that we're working with, and as they fall off, it's only going to get better. So as they come off of their training, it'll get better because we'll have more staffing. So I think we're in pretty good shape right now.
How about the billing, Mike? Are you working with finance, and we have the billing straightened out, so we're keeping on top of that?
Annette had iSolve create a code within their program, so nothing has to be done manually. This will be the first pay period with that in it. So we'll see how it all works out on both ends.
And we had this is an offbeat question. Mike, we had a couple of pre-union meetings coming up, and I never had a response from you. We were having one on, Barbara, do you have that date?
Let me look quickly. I think Mike did reply that he was able to come to the first one is at 1 o'clock on.
Yes.
On the, hang on.
The 14th, right?
Yes, thank you, Mike.
Can
And-
you make that?
Yeah, I had accepted it. I thought I had accepted it, but maybe I didn't.
You did.
I did,
It doesn't-
okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, I will. I'm able to attend that.
What else do you have for us this morning, Mike?
All I had training, I wanted to mostly get on the agenda to talk about the Knox stuff and let you know that was going pretty good. I also on the Knox stuff, I've been getting updates. I don't know if you folks want me to forward them to you from Knox County. The sheriff has been doing daily updates on their situation. If you want those, I can forward them to you. Basics explaining their staffing levels, explaining what's going on down there, what they're doing. And it seems that they're starting to gain some employees, which is a good thing. And I'm in hopes that they'll be ready to go at the end of the 6 months.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, could you forward those?
Yep, absolutely, I can do that. The only other thing I really have is a couple of things. One, we're finally on schedule with the Tower and Liberty. The buildings should be delivered there this week. They set the pole for the power. So that's moving right along. They're up at Mount Waldo today. We had to wait for Blueberry Broadcasting to be out of their ratings so they could turn down the power on their tower. So they did that today for us. So they're putting the last antenna up over there to complete the system on that end of the county. But everything else seems to be going pretty good. So
Good. All good news this morning, Mike. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I was late for the meeting. I got stuck in another meeting that went over.
That's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I've got for right now, and I'll forward you folks those emails from Sheriff Polkey, and then you'll be in the loop on everything.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I think that's all we had for you. You okay?
Yeah.
Commissioner Johnson, Paul?
Great.
Okay, we're okay, Mike.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Robert, can we move to the head, Brian and Raleigh, the both of you now? Sure. Chris, you wanna come up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Only a couple of things.
Can you
Um,
speak a little?
Yeah, sorry, only a couple of things today. I've been talking with Revision Energy for the solar panels at the sheriff's office. They asked that some trees that be cut, the birch trees in front of the building be cut down. So I talked with Matt Curtis last week, and he actually cut them down himself, and I got the brushes all gone in there, so it's pretty open, it's opened up now. And they said that they're gonna try to get the panels on hopefully this soon. I haven't got an email back yet. I let them know the trees are gone, but they're hoping maybe the end of this month or by fall that the panels will be up there in the snow this year. And then the first time with the budget went okay, I think. I did all right. For that, it was pretty fun. That was good to learn and all that stuff. That took a lot of my time, so now I'm catching up on a bunch of little stuff. That
How much is your budget gonna be up?
it went up according to it was like 8.7%. So it was, yeah, I remember the percentage. It was 30. 30, it was 8.7% from last year increase. Mostly it was kind of the fuel and the electricity costs, mostly is what I figure would be the
Yeah.
higher of the money with the raise of the budget. But now I'm just catching up on the little things, you know, I have to do change filters and stuff and do get those in the buildings, catching up because going on vacation next week. And I have a plan in place. I talked with all the department heads. I'm gonna send out an email with the vendors like the electricians, contact plumbers, etc. All that contact information. I've talked with Matt Curtis about the nail runs, and I'm gonna have somebody do nail runs for me while I'm falling down.
Okay, thank you.
And I've also talked with Dart about, well, you know, the expectations is to keep up what he's doing while I'm gone and be here at least the week while I'm gone, and relying a lot on him to do that. So those are the plans I have in place right now. And when I get back, just like I said,
Okay.
catching up on a bunch of little things. It's all the stuff that I haven't.
Yep,
Been able
thank
to
you
get to the
for
last
explaining it.
Yeah.
Giving us the information.
And that's all I have for you today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chris.
Dale,
Hello,
we saved a lot of time for you this morning.
yeah. Whoa. I dropped down quite a bit. Let's see here. Well, we could probably drag it out if you want. So status of the projects, because we got 3 projects going now. The new deeds office has been demoed. And still a little bit of demo left to do. They need to knock out part of the walls so we can find the water and septic lines. So they're looking to put in that very back room, put in a new kitchenette. And so we need to put in a sink. But we're putting it on the wall that is right against where the bathroom and the janitor's closet.
Oh, perfect.
So we won't have to go very far. We just gotta place that. But there was, at one point, we've discovered that at one point in time, there was a stairwell in there.
Oh, really?
Before this end of the building was built. That was the stairwell to go upstairs, was right in that door going in there.
I'll be done.
Yeah. And so there was a cinder block wall there. And you could see the paint on it, you know, where they painted, you know, where there was railings and stairwell and all that type of stuff. That wall's now gone. It's kind of cool. The when you first walk in there from the indoor door, that's gonna be the public area. And it's gonna go about 2/3 of the way down. Where there's some, structural post in the middle there, that's where there's gonna be a new wall, a ceiling wall, a floor to ceiling wall. And the other side will be the staff area. But I'm just waiting on the final plans from the architect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she's on leave vacation this week and the CAD person is on leave this week, so we'll get back with them next week and hopefully we can get something. We're kind of pushing deeds along a little faster, primarily because Dennis is up against a deadline. Mid-January, he's done. Because he goes on vacation down south and wherever. So we want to try to get that one moving. That's why we got the demo work all done. I got a demo permit for the city. And that piece is done. So the minute we can start building, we've saved a week or two there.
Good.
And working with Stacy to try to pick out flooring and cabinets and those type of things for the area. We're gonna be going over to Viking to do cabinets. Looking to do, I think it's Parentos. It's over in Searsport for the flooring. Dennis recommended them because they can actually grind that floor down smooth because it's got all kinds of funny things going on in there. So whatever flooring we put down later will be much easier to.
Oh, good,
smooth.
good.
So that's where we are kind of with the deed side. On the DA side, I got RH Lambeth up there. They really don't want to start anything, including demo, until the final plans show up. So as soon as we get the plans, they can start demoing, even though we haven't got the permit yet, from the fire marshal. Word is on the street, the fire marshal's going quicker than usual because they just can't even keep up, so they've given up.
Which is good.
And they're trusting the architects and engineers are doing what needs to be done, so hopefully that won't take too long. On the EMA side, we're pretty much down to trying to finish site work. You may have seen there's a new fire pond / detention pond there. They've got some other ponds they're putting in. It's taking a little bit of time because they need certain types of gradation on their material, the soil material. And it's not stuff you can just go to a pit somewhere and get. And so he makes up a mix, sends it off to be tested. 3 days later, the test comes back and didn't quite make it. And so we've wasted a week and a half screwing around with trying to get the right mix on some of these things. Hoping that probably towards the end of September, beginning of October, we'll pave. And that'll pretty much bring that to the conclusion. We still got a few things to do with the plumber. Still needs to hook up the spigot for the warehouse for the old well. Still need to get the heat hooked up to the warehouse. And we still got to get the fire suppression system fixed or straightened out in the kitchen and in the van office. But for the most part, there's just a lot of little things left to finish up out there. Any questions on the 3 projects?
Just I hope those permits show up. Well,
Me too.
I know,
Um,
especially where we have to be out. By March.
we may have to move them in the warehouse.
Right.
I have a portable gas tank out there. It's a 390 gallon tank. I've been using the gas off of that to keep the Jeep going. It's all the back and forth between Belfast and Swanville. Going that way for this and now coming this way for the other 2 projects. I was wondering if it was okay if I used some of the ARPA funds assigned to the EMA project to refill that tank.
Yes. Yes.
I'm putting a lot of extra miles on because of the travel between the 2 sites.
Yeah, and all these projects here are ARPA, so, yeah.
And then one thing that we had done in the past when Karen was here, and I just wanted to, because of all the shakeup in finance and everything else, I wanted to kind of get your approval. In the past, when we had Homeland Security grants, purchases that were like $30,000-$40,000, I don't have that up front to spend, but we have to spend it up front. We have used the EMA reserve account to make the purchase, and then when the money came back for that date, we put it back.
Reimburse it.
I was wondering if that was still okay to do.
No, absolutely.
it's not any problem.
We've got 2 $30,000 projects to do. And I
I
just,
mean, that's been the common practice.
it has,
Yes.
but again,
Right.
with everything, there's been a lot of changes in the finance, county finance program.
Just let Carrie know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you will.
To do that. I think that's all I have for the EMA ARPA stuff. Any questions?
Do you have another thing you wanna take up with us?
I do. We had a Department Heads Association meeting last week. And one of the things that we'd like to propose to do is, and I kind of go back to history, each department used to pay its own propane bill and pay its own electric bill and pay its own bill. But when we created the facilities department, all those bills got consolidated facilities. We'd like to do the same thing with the telephone and internet stuff. The bills are coming for that because there's MiFi's and there's internet through Consolidated and through other places, and there's telephone, is to consolidate all that under IT. And Jason, who's back there, not was a part of that discussion, thinks it's a good idea. We spent a lot of time trying to divvy out their portion and their portion and their portion when there really isn't any need to. Also, according to Jason, when the county goes to the new VoIP system, it may be impossible to break it out by departments because they'll actually be sharing numbers. But you may call 3870 or 2040, but it might grab this number instead because that's one available. It's because of this whole digital system. The new radios are like that too. It will just keep bouncing around different frequencies of the one that's available at the moment to keep the call going. So in the 2024 budget cycle, what we'd like to do with your approval is to basically pull the phone lines out of the each department and put it all under IT as one line item. I think it will save a lot of time. He will also get direct view on everything and can analyze it if there's issues. In the old days, we used to pay, you'd call Unity, and it was a toll call. You'd call Burnham, it was a toll call. That doesn't happen anymore. We can make 100 calls or 1,000 calls within the county, and it's not changing your phone bill at all. Under the new system, the only one that will still be broken out will be in May. We'll have our own telephone up there, and then the rest of the county will be under this VoIP system. So the other thing that we talked about, and this wasn't anything that needed anything at this point in time because facilities need to be involved in it, but because departments used to pay for the electric and everything else, we had it broken out that way. But I think it will be easier for facilities if it's broken out by building as opposed to by whoever happens to be in that building. There could be 3 different departments in that building. And again, it takes more time trying to break out and estimate. And well, you're 2/3 of the space, so therefore you'll get 2/3 of the bill. And is if the bill, I think most of the bills come this way anyways, is pretty much by building, because it's by meter. That's down the road. It's just kind of a something to bring up. But what we'd like to do with your approval is to move phone line item from the individual departments to IT as one item. And all the money that we budgeted for that would then go
For this year.
for this year coming up. What's that?
I think internet too, that was discussed.
Correct, phone and internet, because it's becoming so integrated. And under the VoIP system, I think it's gonna be very much integrated, but Jason would know more on that.
It's more efficient.
So theoretically, Dale, there wouldn't be any savings per se.
No, it's
It's
just,
just to be redefining.
the savings would come from time spent trying to divide it out. If
Yeah.
you've seen the consolidated telephone bill, how many lines are to it and how many that you spend hours each time that thing comes out trying to figure out how to break it out. And you just wouldn't have to do that anymore. It'd all be under one line item.
Do you want to do?
I don't care. I mean, you know, Dale's right. He's just the messenger. I just, and I agree. Might as well do it this way. I'm still old school enough that I appreciate in the budgets, the transparency, how people can see
Yeah.
exactly what's in a budget and how it goes. And I think sometimes you know, take great pride in adhering and staying very careful and very conscious of your budget.
Yeah.
But if Jason doesn't mind absorbing those things, you know.
So his budget's gonna jump up to 24 quite a bit, but others, matter of fact, if the telephone piece is taken out of my budget increase would be like 1.8 or 2.2% of that, very, very minor. His, of course, he's gonna be absorbing the money that I had allocated for. Now, with that said, what I originally budgeted, I'll have to come to you guys, and if we don't do that, I'll have to redo it anyways on the phone, because I didn't budget enough. My last bill that I received was in January, and I budgeted $99 a month, and it's jumped to $200 a month, and I didn't budget for that.
Well, I mean, the phones and power
Yeah.
this year, nobody budgeted.
Well, and for 23, we've accepted that, and we're moving on, it just gets absorbed from some other line. But for 24, I definitely don't want to budget $100 a month when I'm spending $200 a month.
You know, as things change in modern, technology.
Yeah.
You almost can't do individual type things like that without a lot of, net papers and stuff. So it makes sense, to have, a piece of it.
Yeah, and I know Jason has been evaluating some of the stuff that we have now, how we can do it cheaper. We had, at one point in time, we had 3 $800. And we haven't used them in years.
I know,
Some were still on the,
that's pathetic.
and
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem if it's early enough in the budget process that we can do this,
Yeah.
then why not?
doesn't need to be a voter, or you just.
We ought to have a vote, probably so.
So, I'll make a motion that we strike the telephone line in each department's budget out of that budget and put it into the technology IT budget.
And internet too, can we include that in the?
Is internet specifically broke down in here?
I think in a couple of the budgets,
Well,
district attorneys for one.
The internet that was by Consolidated was broken out to the departments at one point.
So consolidated is phone.
Correct. Phone and internet. Now, there's some other internet that aren't. And I think those are coming out of the technology reserve. I don't know, somebody's paying for it, name the departments. So it probably ought to be under him, because that's an operational cost. It ought to be, instead of a reserve, it should be coming out. I think it should be coming out of the IT operational budget. So that's the other one. When you say IT, we need to figure out where it's coming from and move it to IT budget as opposed to IT reserve. If that's where it's coming from.
It's not gonna be a good thing, Dale, when we add up the budget for next year. The early thing,
Yeah, and I mean, because everybody's getting
Oh,
and it's mostly gonna be, if the IT is under, if the phone and internet are under IT, then you're gonna have one location where that's gonna take a big jump. And you're gonna have a big jump under facilities for propane and oil, well, maybe not so much oil, but the fuels. And then each department that has vehicle fuel is gonna go up. I'm hoping mine isn't, because I'm gonna have a shorter commute, and we're gonna have, once these projects are over with, I won't be making so many trips.
I've been saying for a long time that the budget would probably be up 7 or 8%. It could be up 10 or 12.
And it'll be utilities that do it. Fuel and electric and. I mean, everything else, my budget, matter of fact, if you look at my non-salary budget, I'm spending about what I was when I first got hired.
Yeah. You could manage it.
Find efficiencies and.
Well, we're saving some on electricity with the panels that you've got out there.
Yeah. And those with the
Do
power
we
that
get
we're generating.
reports on that or anything?
What's that?
Do we get reports? Because it would certainly be nice to be able to give to the budget committee, it's tripled, but here, this is where.
I can get a report off my system of how much power we generated for the year. I can provide that. The only other thing that we've got would be the the electric bill itself. When we set up the EMA, all the power that we generate, anything that's above what we're using, comes off of course, the EMA thing first. That includes the warehouse and the storage bill, because they're all tied together now on that system. If there's still credit left, it comes off of the Windy Hill Tower site. And if there's still money left, it comes off of this bill. So the bills for this building then get succession of, credit paid towards it. We just haven't been, it hasn't been running long enough to, and with the monthly thing, to figure out exactly where we're at. Rob, of course, is taken on as an analytical type of person. He wants to get copies of all the phone, all the electric bills for the EMA office, so we can figure
Oh,
out.
that's cool, we should, yeah.
He's gonna graph it, chart it, and probably, do a differential equation on it, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, once the sheriff's office gets the solar panels, that'll cut their bill quite a bit, although it won't, they'll still be using more power than they generate.
Yeah,
Well, cut it by half, Bill?
I think, well, of course, we're making a guess at this point, but I think it will probably be about a half.
Yeah,
When we ran some numbers, what they thought it would be and what we had, been generating, it looked like it'd be somewhere in the vicinity of a half off their bill. And that's a big bill. I think that's probably close to $1,000 a month. something like that.
yeah.
We have to, finish up the motion.
This is what I wrote. You can tell me if you don't think it's correct. To strike the telephone and internet lines from each departmental budget and move it to, and this is where I don't.
move it to the IT department.
So the IT operational, the IT.
Department 1035.
Okay. So Commissioner Fowler, you made that motion. I don't know who seconded it.
Any second,
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're all in favor.
yeah.
Anything else, David?
No, not unless there's something you have.
No, I think guess we're all set.
Thank you very much, Dale.
Sure.
Have a good day.
If you get a chance, go over and take a look at the. these others.
You
You can walk in, just be,
Oh,
you might get some dust on your shoes.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Good. Glad they're getting at it.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Barbara, we're up to you.
Yes. Few things to go over with you. Something that another thing that was established with the Department Head Safety Committee meeting, we've always been a little confused whether it was the fourth Thursday or the last Thursday of the month. And so it is, they decided to call it the fourth Thursday. So I wanted to make sure you knew that. Johnson.
And you have a meeting?
We did.
Okay. That wasn't invited.
Okay, I'll have to ask Mike to make sure he has you on that list. Cause he's the one that sends out the notices. Okay. and then- Yes.
Yeah, it always seems a little confusing.
Yeah, so that's all figured out now. I just thought this was interesting. The city of Belfast provided the real estate tax, though they always do for all our buildings. Of course, they're zero, but for the Swanville property, it's now $513,970.
Does that include Dale's new building?
I haven't, I just.
I don't
got
think that does, cause that's a wicked low number.
So it might just be the land itself, I'm not sure. Anyway, that came and I hadn't read
Oh, it's
all
got
the way.
building.
Yeah,
The land is 52,000, which is dirt cheap. The building, 461,000. I can't believe that's all those warehouses and Dale's building.
I don't think they have them all.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Would that be of April first?
What's that?
Would that be of April first?
Yeah, it might be. It might be, cause I don't think they've got the new stuff on there.
I sent to you all yesterday the message from Economic Director Thomas Kittredge regarding
Yeah,
the phase one environmental site assessment.
we would like to have you send the message back that it's okay to do that. They can start examining, because it'll be months getting in line with Brownfield and this and that and the other.
That stuff takes.
It's a fair question.
I'll reply to that message and copy all of you.
Yeah.
Everyone will know. I think I also forwarded to you that the Waldo County Extension Association has invited you to their annual meeting. It's September 12th from 5 to 7 p.m. And it's at the Cooperative Extension Office on Waterville Road.
Oh, I myself don't take a pass on that.
I won't be going.
I don't think I can attend, but I appreciate the
Yeah.
invite.
I got, this month I got meetings, tell me where the other meetings are.
That's my recovery week.
I will pass on that you appreciate the invitation but cannot attend. Wanted just to speak with you also about, related to budgets, you had 2 requests for new funding that came in on your new form that you're trying out this year. And I reminded you of that too by email yesterday. One was from above, those are the folks that did some cleaning out in Brooks, is that
Yeah.
correct? In the amount of $15,000. The second,
What?
Are you serious?
No. Is that right? What's it say, Bob? You gotta hear that, you gotta read that.
Oh my God, it's
did
one
that
thing to
not come
ask.
through you? I'm sorry,
one
they,
thing to
they
ask. Whatever.
requested this in June and you went over that in June, but June feels like 100 years ago. So, that was one. The second one is Camp Capella.
Yeah,
They're requesting 9,500. It says all funds go toward tuition.
but I would like to say this about budgets. This year, I think we have to examine every budget. We gotta save where we can, and, because it's gonna be a hard, very difficult year. What do you think? Both think?
I feel you, I can't agree more. I spent more time sick to my stomach when I was seeing the numbers in there before and we can't help that, but. And even now, we haven't paid July and August health insurance yet.
Yeah,
Cause that's 200 something thousand.
well, we should have, we have a fund that should have that money in it.
Fill that account there, that fund that you keep calling it. So we get a bill once a month on our insurance, on the county side. Oh, here's Carrie. Oh, were you listening? On the county's,
They're right on.
on the county side, it's like, what is it, like 83,000 a month for health insurance on the county
Yeah,
side.
it's in the budget.
And then and then in the jail. So the county pays its 83, the jail pays its 30 something, and that goes into the health insurance fund that you're
Yes,
referring
yeah.
to. But that fund then pays the bills as they come along.
Yeah,
But so it's not, I mean, it's our money, but it's not our money to, okay, I pulled up an old one for you. You saw, it was just a wrong click. I had pulled out an old one and I was like, no, see, that's, no, okay, thank you. So no, I agree. I think every possible cent that we can save,
well, I don't think without a doubt. It'll be a penny less than 10 or 12%.
I don't know.
I think we
I
all
mean-
have to agree, I mean,
What's scary,
it's all over, I mean, everywhere. So the county's not anything different.
No, wait,
Fortunately.
You wanna take a vote on any of this? On those 2?
oh no, I
Well, I
take a
thought we
vote
were
on them when
gonna-
they come, when the budget comes
Right.
before us.
Right.
The way that-
I thought that it wasn't this meeting that we would look at that, the next meeting.
Well, I wouldn't add them to the budget without you telling me you could add that to the budget. I know we're trying to all learn how to use this form, but, that was the point, is you make a decision about whether or not you want to even put it on your budget.
When is the deadline for that decision?
Well, they're trying to pull the
I
budget
thought it
together.
was on
They're trying to
next-
pull the budget together.
On our next commissioners.
No, actually,
I look at this as just a request. I mean, we get ready to do the budgets, we'll do them line by line.
So
Yes,
you're
but
telling
I'm-
Barb to put that in the budget?
No, I said I look at it now, it's just a request.
So the forms were due back.
I mean, yeah, she can put it in the budget, doesn't mean it passed.
Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out, cause I'm confused, cause I'm like, well, no, we discuss those, we decide on whether or not we'll fund them at our budget
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah,
But Barb's point is she's under the impression that we'll vote on that now. And then it will either get in the budget for the amount requested or another amount, or it won't.
I thought there was something about the 21st.
That's to meet with all your agencies, meet with everyone, and you get to ask them the questions about their budget increase.
I would think this falls into that.
Well, that's okay, we're learning as we go.
I mean, I
So you-
think that falls into.
yeah,
it.
I think so.
You know, I mean, let's do it at the same time, treat everybody fairly and.
So don't put a budget line in, but tell them they can come and meet with you on September 21st. And I understand you correctly.
That's what my
But then you can't compose an actual budget, you know what I mean?
It means going back and redoing budget binders.
I
and
mean,
such.
which, no, it's not, no, you're reinventing the wheel. Barb, what I'm saying is, whatever wants 15,000, whatever the hell it's called. So under that section of the budget, what number is it? I don't remember.
But probably
It's gonna be
advertising
1080.
Yeah.
So under 1080, you're gonna have from above request 15,000.
Okay, so I.
And we're gonna say yes or no, or whatever.
On the 21st, and they
Yeah.
can come
So we
in.
do plug it in on NDS.
Yeah, put it in.
Okay,
Right, and they
that's
can
what I
come
needed.
in if they want to.
Uh,
And.
Well, I
speak
gotta
to us,
notify
but-
them.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
would any other agency.
Ah.
Okay,
But
that's
I
what
wouldn't-
that's what I
I
needed
wouldn't
to
seek anyone out. You
No.
caught that, what I said the other
Yeah, I
day in
did.
the email.
I did, I had
Should be doing that, you know?
But I mean, that was the whole point. Hey, they asked, they can ask, you
Yeah,
know, but
Right.
that's insane. I don't mind helping a
I
group
did
out.
hear back from the fire department. I had the correct address. I don't know how I missed it the first time, but they will be submitting something by Friday or it won't be coming.
Yeah,
That's what I told them. Tomorrow's the cutoff.
ah,
So, okay, so plug both of these in, let these folks schedule them for the 21st,
Ah.
and you will talk and figure it out then. Okay, thank you. It's nice to, I'm glad we had this discussion, so we know. All right,
we don't know ourselves how this will fit together, do we see?
right,
You
it's
know,
all-
biggest,
yeah, it's a learning, you're trying a new process, and so this is how we iron the bugs out.
Look at it and say, no, we don't wanna do it. Let's say, give them a chance to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think I'm just following up on the MCCA convention. None of you are going still.
No.
Correct? Okay.
So if I could have had somebody drive me, I would have been probably all right, but. The meetings were all like Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not supposed to drive until afternoon on Tuesday, so.
Jim is donating some gift cards. He's mailing them. He just thought at least Waldo would have one.
Okay.
he's donating what?
Jim is donating some gift cards to the convention for Waldo County.
Thank you.
Yeah, he thought of it. I didn't ask. It just, anyway. So there is that. I think I've covered everything with you. I forgot myself until I looked at the date, but I have worked here full-time 25 years as of August 31st. It feels a lot shorter than that.
you've been here 25 years?
25 years
Wow.
full-time.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I've been very happy to be here. Thank you. That's all I have for you. So
I need a, where are we on the agenda here?
you are at,
That's pretty
done
much,
everything except your own miscellaneous business.
I need a quick executive session, Bob.
Okay. Hang on, let me get it typed
Hang
in.
on, but I can figure this out now.
Well, you wanna vote to go in first?
Mute all.
Bill, you were voted for, or you're the one requesting it?
Yeah.
Who wants to second?